Now we're ready to do page 3 in this colorful practice test. So we're still on the skull. Now, we're gonna have several different views here. The first one, we're gonna blow his top, is this view. Although if you're looking on the picture, I think that's probably the view you're gonna wanna see. Okay, so the greater wing of the sphenoid bone. It's hard, again, it's really hard to see here. So the sphenoid bone it kind of looks like a butterfly. So it looks like a butterfly, that's the sphenoid bone. So the greater part of it is the part that goes all the way down. So that's the greater wing on both sides. And then you have the lesser wing, which is up here at the top. And there's a suture that where it comes and joins the frontal bone and the temporal bones there. So this is the lesser wing up here. Here's the greater wing kind of down in there. Now the sella turcica, this is an important part because it's what holds the pituitary gland. That would be this part right here. It really does actually kind of look like a saddle if you look at it from that point of view. So right in here, this is where the pituitary gland is, right there in the middle part of the skull. Now, next, the pterygoid process of the sphenoid bone. So here, we need to flip our view this way. So the pterygoid process, so it helps anchor bones for chewing. So that's gonna be right in here. So think what could help chew. So the pterygoid process is like this right here. Okay. So you can kind of see where they spike out a little bit. Good sites for anchoring. Now let's talk about the ethmoid bone. The ethmoid bone has to do with the nose. So there's 2 places to see it. Actually, there's quite a few places. But first, the cribriform plate, that's gonna be this part right up here. And then there's actually some, there's a hole there, that's a foramen, that's where which one is it? The olfactory, it was like the smelling nerve, olfactory nerve, comes in. So this is the cribriform plate. And then if you turn it around, you can see the rest of the ethmoid bone there, which is the perpendicular plate. So that's part of the nasal septum there. So people think they have a deviated septum, this ethmoid bone here. And then the palatine process of the maxilla. So the maxilla here is this part of the face. So the palatine process is, turn it over, this part right here. So in the front of the mouth, let's move that right in here. So 2 parts there. That's what, so if you put your tongue on the roof of your mouth, right there, yeah, that's the palatine process of the maxilla. Then you also have the palatine bones. These are the ones in the back here. So if you're looking, these up here, these are the palatine process. Here's the palatine bones right there in the back. And these 2 work together to form the hard palate. Next, the vomer, that's the bottom part of the nose. So this right here, this is a vomer right in there. So that with this perpendicular process of the ethmoid bone is what forms like the nasal septum. Now, the occipital condyles, we're gonna have to turn back over. These are easy to find. It's these big parts right here. Right there, because you gotta find the occipital bone, so it's right here back in the back. These right here, occipital condyles. And they're right above this big hole here. This is the foramen magnum. This is where the spinal cord goes. And then let's go back to the eyes. On the eyes, you have the optic canal. So if you look, you can already see it right back in there where the optic nerve goes in and goes through. You can also see it on the top. If you can see, there's the eyes. So here's where the optic nerve comes through. That's very good. It looks like there's two holes on here. It's not. It's really the same one. They're just kind of separated here by these, what were they? Pterygoid processes. All right. My legs are going to sleep. Next is the hyoid bone. The hyoid bone is not connected to the skull at all. This is the one that's in the throat. It looks like this. This is the only bone in your body that's not connected to any other bone. It just kind of floats right here in the throat. This is the one that they look at when they are determining like suicide or murder, when it has to do with choking, hanging, things like that. So that takes care of page 3. I'll be back to move on.